Today we're going to be trying out Professor Pew CLP gun cleaner, and that's coming up next year on Jesse B Outdoors. Welcome back everybody, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below if you like videos like this. First off, I'd like to thank Professor Pew for sending this out to the channel for us to try out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the table. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and then I got one of my Palmetto State Armory daggers that needs clean, and we're going to clean it and see how this works. So let's get started. Alright, we're here at the table here, and up here it says, one step, clean, lubricate, protectant, Professor Pew CLP. Protects against rusting and corrosion, removes plastic wad, leading, and powder fouling. Safe to use on all factory finishes. That's really nice to know on it. Looks like there's not really much to it here, but the main thing I like about this is all natural. You can see right there. So that's real nice about it. And the other thing is, right there, look at that. Says military grade. That means everything's great, right? A lot of people in the military tell you no, that ain't the truth. But we're going to try this out and see how it works, so let's get started. Alright, we're going to do my dagger here, and you can see there's nothing in the chamber. And there is no magazine in it. This gun is clear. So we'll take this down real quick before we get started here. These PSA daggers take down just like a Glock do. Very nice and easy to take down. Gotta love that about a product like that, when it's nice and easy to take down. First thing you gotta do though is remember you got a threaded barrel to take the cap off. Sometimes I forget that, because not all my guns have threaded barrels. We'll get that off here. Put that off to the side, and now we'll slide our barrel out, and then our dagger is completely apart. Alright, before we even get started here, I want to take a look at this barrel. And you guys can see, if I hold it at an angle just right, this thing is crusty and dirty. This is actually my Faxon barrel here. Don't know if you guys can see that here, it's upside down, but this is my Faxon barrel I got. I cleaned it out when I first got it, and I haven't touched it since. I have shot some lead bullets through here, so there is a little bit of leading in it. But this thing is real nice and dirty. I'm going to take a look at the end of it here, behind the camera. And yep, I can see a lot of crud in there, and it looks like some lead on the end of it. We got a little bit of buildup. So the first thing I always like to do is shut my light off here. We'll get this Professor Pew here. What I like doing is, and I like this because it's a spray, we're going to spray this down in there until it comes out the end. There we go. I'm going to put a spray there. Then I like to oil my barrels, so I'm going to put a little bit on top. And then we're just going to set that off to the side there. Next thing I'm going to do is we're going to spray the inside of this down. All the spots that I know that get dirty. Then we'll do the slide also. We're going to try to watch not getting it down into the channel too much there. Your firing pin channel right there. But we'll clean the rest of this out here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for a couple minutes to eat everything up. Now one thing I like doing is, if you follow my channel and you see my cleaning videos, spring and guide rod I don't use nothing on. So I just wipe them down. And you guys can see there, they do get gunked up a little bit. But to me, it's a failure point if you get oil on it and get dirt. So I just like wiping them down to get them clean. And that's all I do with that. And you can see it's just a little bit dirty, but not too bad. We're going to see all the dirt when we clean this stuff out. So I'll come back once I let it sit for long enough. This time around, I'm going to clean the frame first. I'm going to get down in here and get this gunk out of here. Just that little bit, you can see that. A lot of this I can't get all the way down into the rails. For that, I'll get another piece of cloth here, and I'll get that all wiped down. But where I can get it with one of these Q-tips, I like getting in there and getting them. Get that all cleaned up. We'll go to the clean side here, and I want to show you. A lot of people don't clean down here in the magwell area, right where the chamber is. And you can see that is where I cleaned up right there. And that was just a rail. So that area gets really dirty down in here. Always a good place to clean out. We'll get that all cleaned up here. Down in here in the locking block too. That's another area. Let's go to this piece that wasn't that dirty. You get down in the locking block, this area right in here gets a lot of buildup in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish cleaning this out here. And then, like I said, I'm going to use, this one's already got some dirt on it, so I'm going to reuse this. And what I do is I fold that up and then get down in the rails with that to get the rails cleaned out. To me, that's just easier than trying to mess with it. You can see how much gunk's in there. So what I'm going to do now, since there is a lot of gunk in those rails, I'm going to get my brush here real quick and brush those out. Alright, I'm going to take a cleaner part of that patch here and go in that rail again, just so you guys can see after I brushed it. You can see a lot cleaner now after we brushed it. Sometimes you get the Q-tips in there, sometimes you can't. You can see that back one has got some dirt on it. I'm going to work on this real quick and I'll come right back. Now I got the rails all cleaned up. You can see a little bit in here. I really like the texture of this. Right here is a good spot. But you can see there's dead skin and dirt in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this down a little bit with this because it's good for all surfaces. And I'm just going to let that sit there until the end, until I'm ready for the frame again. And see if that eats all that up. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here with the frame. Or the slide, I mean. And you can see right in here, there's a bunch of gunk back in here in that channel. Let's just do one swipe down that channel. And you can see how gunky that channel is right there. We'll do the other side right here. This slide here is another one. I cleaned it when I got it. I got this either the end of spring or beginning of summer. And I cleaned it when I got it, and I haven't touched it since because I knew I had cleaning products coming up. And you can see that this thing is filthy. Let's grab another Q-tip here and just go back down it again after I already wiped it down. And we can see that stuff is coming up, but it is cleaning it pretty good. So now I'm going to get into the rails here with the clean one. We'll see how these rails come out here. That is just one side of the rail. These things were gunked up pretty bad. One other thing I'm going to do here real quick before I leave you guys to do the rest of this off camera is the breech face here. Like I said, if you guys follow the channel, I never spray it and I hold it like this, because if you hold it the other way, the dirt and debris will go into the firing pin channel. And what I'm going to do is wipe that off, and you can see how gunked up that got. And I didn't even put no spray or nothing on there. And another thing I like doing is you got the extractor right here. Get it underneath that with a brush and make sure you get that cleaned out real well. That's another place you want to make sure to get clean, is that extractor area. And then I'm going to finish cleaning this up off camera now, since you guys saw all the dirty spots. And then I'll be back. Alright, you guys can see here, this thing is pretty clean here. I'm going to get back in this corner a little bit. I just saw a little spot there. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of dirt still there. Just on the back right there. I must have missed that going through that. But pretty much the rest of this, I'm going to get the what light I do have shining back here. Showing, and you can see this is all clean. Now I did wipe it down with this patch here. That's what I wiped the inside down with when I was done with the Q-tips. And you can see here that this is pretty nasty. I got another one here I'll grab. This one's only got a little bit of dirt on it, but you can see all that dirt that's on there compared to this one. That has got a lot of dirt picked up on that. Not too bad, not too bad. Now let's move on to the barrel. Now we got my barrel brush here, and we're just going to go through the barrel here. You guys saw it before I started what it looked like. Pretty much it was really dirty, and there was some lead buildup on the end of it. And that's where I want to test this out, because it says it's good for lead. The last one I did on my other dagger, I had some lead buildup, and we used a different company on that. I'll leave a card up here if you want to see that. And go ahead and watch that video if you want to see how it worked out on the lead. And we'll see if this one does better or worse than that one. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't seen that other video, so go ahead and go watch that. But I'm going to do this quite a few times and run it through, and I'll come back with you. Alright, I scrubbed it quite a few times, but you can see there is still some lead buildup on here. I think what I'm going to have to do to get that completely cleaned out is I'm going to try scrubbing it some more, but I might have to do the copper scouring pad trick to get that all out of there. So that's a little disappointing. This says it'll get the lead out, and it really didn't do nothing on the lead that I could see here. It looks about the same as before. So what I'm going to do is scrub a little bit more on it and see if I can get it out of there. Since I've been having an issue with the lead there, I'm going to spray some more. You could already see some dripping out here. I'm going to spray it down this end of the barrel. That way we can get it soaking in there. You can see what's coming out is still dirty. I still haven't ran a patch through this yet either. Maybe we will do that before I scrub more of it out, just so we can see here. But if you remembered, I did spray the frame down, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my microfiber cloth here and wipe this down. And the thing with the microfiber is, you can tell it's grabbing, you can hear it. It grabs onto there. So I'm going to wipe this down while I'm waiting for that and get this all completely wiped down. Alright, what I did was I wiped down my frame, I wiped down my slide. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to finish cleaning this out here to see if we can get any more of that lead out. That's going to be the biggest issue, and that has been my biggest disappointment lately, is how good a product can get lead out. So I'm going to finish doing this up, and when I come back we'll run a patch through it, because I have a feeling what comes out of this is going to be really nasty, and we'll check that out here next. Alright, we're going to check the barrel out here one more time before we put the patch through it here. And we can still see in there. Try to get it so you can't get blinded. We still got some lead buildup in there. So this said it cleaned lead up. Not too impressed with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the scouring pad stuff out, wrap it around the brush and do it. But before I do that, my fingers and everything have been kind of dirty. So this patch does have some dirt on it here. But that's all from my fingers. Let's see how nasty this barrel is. Run this through here. And let's see what it looks like when it comes out here. I use a 12 gauge one because it's very tight. And you can see it was pretty nasty in there. We'll flip it around to the other side. Run it through real quick. Get my camera refocused here since I bumped it here. And we'll get that pushed through here. And you can see both sides came out pitch black on that. So I'm going to run a couple more patches through it and just get all that carbon out and see what happens. Now what you do is take some of that copper scouring pad and you wrap it around there. And I sprayed that as you saw before. And now we're going to run this through with that copper on there. It came off on me, so I'm going to wrap it back around. But you do that a few times and usually this will help get that gunk out of there. Alright everybody, this is going to be the last time I'm going to show this. I actually sprayed this down and I had to go pick my wife up from the town that's about, I'd say it's about 10-15 minutes away. So I've been gone for about a little over a half hour. I let it sit in there and then I put the scrubber through a little bit more. And if you look here, I know it's hard to tell because of the bright light. It is starting to clean some of that lead up a little bit more. So I think the key to this one is to let it sit a little bit longer. But once again, I thought it would have done a little bit better than what it did on the lead. But let me go ahead and let's finish this video out because it's been long enough. Let's give you my final thoughts. Alright, I'm back with a final update here. I wanted to give this stuff a chance. So what I did was I actually sprayed this again and I let it sit overnight. And then I want to show you guys what it looks like now. After letting it sit overnight, I'm going to spin that around here. Try to get it so you guys can see in there. And that actually cleaned up pretty good. So the key with this is it looks like if you let it soak for a long time, like I said, I end up spraying it again overnight. And what I did was I used my brush with the copper scouring pad wrapped around it. And I cleaned it out again this morning. I kind of say I gave up on it and I already did end of this video. But we're going to redo the end of this video because now after that and letting it sit, I kind of think this did a good job on it. Let's get it more in the center here. And I'll zoom in a little bit closer. There is still a little bit of lead in there, but not near as much as what it used to be. So I'm going to scrub it a little bit more off camera. But now I'm a little more happier with this than I was before. Alright, what's my final thoughts here on the Professor Pew CLP here? Well, like I said, I already made an ending to this video. And then after this morning when I checked it out, cleaned it up, I'm changing the ending on it. I'm going to tell you guys all the exact same things that I said in there, but I'm going to change my opinion on the lead thing, and that's the only thing that's different. You know, it says one-step cleaning, lubrication, protectant. CLP, that's what it's for. Cleaning, did a good job. You guys saw how the regs were dirty and everything, but here's the kicker. Every cleaner I've ever used has worked. It's cleaned the carbon and everything off the gun, no issues. Heck, soap and water will do that. So to me, it's hard to impress me with the cleaning part of any cleaner because they all do it. Now let's go for L for lubrication. Lubrication, I got my Dagger right here. I mean, seems pretty lubricated to me. It seems like it's real nice, smooth, slick, should function fine for plenty of time. Like I said, I shot this gun all summer, and what I normally use is Lucas Outdoors gun lube because I used to work at an auto parts store that sold it, so I got a heck of a discount on it. So I have a bunch of it. I mean, I had no issues with that, and this feels no different than that for lubrication. The biggest thing to see is if it burns off quick or not, and I'll test that out because I clean my guns like once or twice a year. This is the first time this gun's been cleaned since I bought it. I cleaned it, shot it all summer long, and then just cleaned it for this video. You guys saw the lead buildup in it at the beginning and all the gunk that was in the barrel. That proves that this thing was dirty, so it did good on that. Now let's go to the P of CLP for protectant. I'm too busy of a person to do a protectant test. I got way too much going on. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go up to CW Longshot's video up here. He does an awesome test on the protectant part of this. You guys are probably going to be shocked by the results, but I'm not going to tell you that. Go check his video out and it'll show you how this protects. So let's move on here. It says protects against rust and corrosion. Like I said, I didn't do no test, but that CW Longshot video, that'll tell you all you need to know. Removes plastic wad. Didn't do a shotgun barrel, so couldn't tell you. Lead. After letting it soak all night and putting the copper scouring pad around my brush, end up cleaning up good. So if you're not in a hurry to clean your gun, if you got a lot of lead buildup, just let it sit overnight, and it seems like that did work on that. And in the original ending, I dissed it on the lead because I wasn't too impressed with it. But if you got the time to let it soak overnight, then that will definitely help it out. And then safe to use on all factory finishes. I put it on the frame and I put it on the DLC coated slide. I don't see no issues with that at all. Move to the back here. I like that it's all natural. And the great thing about it being all natural is this does not have a horrible smell at all. Other cleaners like Ballistol and Hops, they got a horrible smell. My wife actually hates it when I clean guns with those because she hates the smell of it. When I cleaned the guns with this, she had absolutely no clue that I was even cleaning guns, so I do like it on that part. So all in all, I'd say, yeah, it's a decent cleaner. Is it better than anything else out there on the market? No, I'd say it's about average, so I'll leave it up to you guys. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't, don't. That's my thoughts on it. So as always, don't forget to check out the links down below. Down there I have links to Axle Hearing Protection, Gators Eyewear, and a bunch of other companies I like dealing with. Most of them got discount codes to save you guys money, and these are affiliate accounts that help the channel out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below. We are One Nation Under God, and I'll see you all on the next one.